Hey, welcome to A&R News. This is the Raw Report. I'm Ryan Jackson-Saw. I'm standing in front of the Kalimna Aged Care Facility in Strathalbyn, where half of the facility here has actually been disused for the past 4 years. Now we're going to get to the bottom of why in one of the largest aging population areas in South Australia, a big facility like this isn't being used correctly. Now I'm going to be speaking with Tonya Scott, who is a candidate for One Nation here in the area, and we're going to find out exactly what's going on. So Tonya, what exactly is happening with this facility here? Why has it been shut down for the last 4 years?
Well, there's absolutely nothing happening with it right at this minute. Well, anything that the community know of, which has also been something which has been a problem over the last 4 years, which has been the transparency of our local government. Also, it was shut down due to fire coding. It came back through a report that the fire coding wasn't up to scratch because they had high care residents living in a low care facility. That's what it said on paper.
Right.
So that's why it was shut down.
So what have they done to then remedy this obviously very expensive installation?
Well, absolutely nothing. At this point, the Liberal government have got some money put aside, a small amount of money to actually do something with the facility, but as yet they haven't done it. They have still been maintaining the building, a bit over the last 4 years, but that's as far as it's got. And I understand that they've moved some administration over here from across the road up top. So that I'm not quite sure about that, but that's what I've been told.
So how many individual units are there just in this section alone?
There's 25, and they did have what they call as a bed licence, and there were 24 bed licences to this facility,
Right.
which were put into limbo over the last 4 years as well.
Right, so that's 25 full-time places for the elderly to sleep, and it's just sitting here for the last 4 years unused.
Yeah, it has, yeah.
Right. So what does One Nation plan to actually do about that?
For starters, we would like to make the whole situation transparent to the community so that they can understand exactly what happened here, because that's really been a big thing, that the government just don't seem to want to tell you or tell the community what's going on, and that's a huge problem because I just feel that they underestimate our community on how they can react to things, give them time to put in their input. So that's one thing that we will do, is bring transparency to what's happened here. We would really like to try and get this place opened again like it should be, and like it was originally purposed for, and that was for elderly people, that they aren't so much high care, but ones that need a little bit of help, like showering and just doing things, that's going to stop them from going into more of a high care nursing home.
Right.
So, yeah.
Now we've obviously been facing quite a big problem in Australia with lack of good facilities for the elderly, especially in South Australia. It's come into the spotlight recently. What are some of the major problems that the elderly care has been facing in South Australia?
There seems to be a reasonable amount of funding going to it that we can see. It's just been mismanaged, and people aren't receiving the care that they're paid for. To go into a facility like this, because it's a government-run facility, or had been a government-run facility, you're looking at about upfronting $320,000, and then what happens with that money is then it goes into like a trust account, and the facility then get the interest off that, and then whatever the shortfall is, then that's up to the resident to pay. And generally they pay up to 80% of their pension or whatever. So it's a fair bit of money.
So enough to pay for 5-star accommodation.
Yeah, basically that's a lot of money, and you know these people are paying a huge lot of money. They're selling their houses. Families are having to help top up things as well, and they're just not getting the service that they're paying for. You know, the food that gets served is absolutely substandard. If you check on Google, you'll find and you'll see people have taken photos of food that are being served at these places. It's just not good.
Yeah. So we're here at the Strathalbyn and District Health Services. As you can see the sign behind us, we have a closure of yet another rural hospital, and the services are barely functioning. All emergencies are being sent an hour away to the nearest hospital, putting the local residents at increased risk. So exactly how long would it take someone in an emergency situation to actually get to the next nearest hospital?
On a good day, it's going to take us 20 minutes to get to Mount Barker. And there hopefully is a doctor on site that is able to treat you. Unfortunately, in Mount Barker as well, there's been a few incidents where there hasn't actually been a doctor, and you've then had to go on to town, which is another probably 40 minutes onto town.
So what is the reason they've actually put a temporary closure on this hospital?
Okay, the reason they used was COVID. When the pandemic first began, they shut down the emergency, saying that it was bad for the community, and they wanted to take emergency and available staff more into the city. And they said once the pandemic starts to wane, or we get used to what we're doing, that then they would open up the emergency department again. And that was 2 years ago, and we're still waiting.
If they opened up the full facilities of the local aged care facility, would they also be able to open up this hospital?
Well, yeah, they can. I don't think it's a matter of financing and just waiting. It's something that needs to happen. There's no doubt about it. We have a lot of outer communities around here, and some of those communities are 20 minutes away from Strathalbyn. So, and there's a different type of injury that happens in the country because we've got farmers and stuff. So you've got a different type of injury that's happening here than that's happening in the city. So you have someone that's in a farm, say probably Langhorne Creek or Malang Way, it's a good 20 minutes before they can get to Strathalbyn, and then another 20 minutes onto Mount Barker. So there's 40 minutes, and you just know that once somebody's injured and seriously injured, time is so important on trying to save someone's life. And there has been several incidents here where people have died because there hasn't been a ambulance available or emergency department here, and that's just recent. Two gentlemen died from heart complications.
How important is this hospital to the local community?
Look, it is so important. A lot of people have moved here to retire because of having the hospital. It is very important. We have an ageing community here, and when you get older, things start to happen and accidents happen and things like that, and we need it. We've got the one of the highest call out rate for car accidents and stuff in the state with the country fire service. So it's something that is needed, and yeah, weekends are pretty busy. And not to mention that so we've got 2 schools here, so you've got kids at school, and accidents happen at school, sporting accidents, have a lot of sporting events happen on weekends and things like that. So it's something that is definitely needed here.
Wonderful.
Our health system is very, very important to One Nation, and this is top of my list, getting this hospital back up and running like it needs to be, and elderly citizens in this town looked after like they need to be and should be looked after. And it's top of my list. So if I get a seat in the House of Representatives, this will be one of the first things that I start campaigning for, and I start pressuring whatever government is in to fix as soon as possible, because Strathalbyn needs this done yesterday. It can't wait any longer.
A new social media platform, truthbook.social, built by the people, for the people, a force for good. Powered by the Australian National Review, non-for-profit news media company, built by the people, for the people as well. And also, the platform will be known as ANR Social. Censor-free and blockchain protected, it combines the best of YouTube features for uploading videos, Telegram and Facebook. To combat the censoring and banning of those who speak the truth, and those who are seeking the truth, truthbook.social will be everything Fakebook isn't. Now is the time in human history where the resistance fights back against global tyranny and the globalists and their Great Reset totalitarian agenda. Truthbook.social and ANRsocial.com support the Great Awakening, or as we call it, the Greater Reset. It is supported by the resistance cryptocurrencies such as Our World Coin, www.ourworldcoin.org, and Bitcoin 2.0, bit-exchange.org. Support the resistance now and join for free truthbook.social and invite your friends to discover the truth and to leave Fakebook, Instasham and ScrewTube behind. Be a force for good in the world. Let the Great Awakening spread the Greater Reset as we defeat the globalists by speaking the truth and sharing the truth. Truthbook.social. Join us now. United we stand. Divided we fall. Truthbook.social or ANRsocial.com.
Truthcoin will be listed on selected crypto exchanges in late May 2022 to enable supporters to help fund Truthbook.social, a critical and much-needed alternate social media platform. A platform that's free from globalist control and not censored like big tech is. It will not support the Great Reset agenda or the vaccine digital passport, which is heavily reliant on people utilizing globalist platforms like Facebook. This enables everyone to support and benefit from building a better world, by the people, for the people, a force for good. You can donate now to these projects and receive Truthcoin as a bonus and the opportunity to potentially profit. Default option to lock in your coin for 12 months and earn 15% in additional coin, paid end of term. The term starts from the date it lists. Note that this default option will occur unless you request 90-day escrow options. We have partnered with Bitcoin 2.0 to utilize their management and skill and many of their advisors. Truthcoin is a large supporter of independent media and Take Back Our World objectives. Truthcoin was started to become not just a global payment system, but to be Truthbook's currency like Facebook has Libra, but also to help fund the growth of Truthbook.social to compete against the large multi-billion-dollar competitors. Due to its backing by global independent media, it will not only access larger and larger audiences as they continue to desert mainstream media in droves, but it will help the sharing of independent news from our independent news partners to a wider audience. Truthcoin will enable us all to share the truth via truthbook.social. Let's enable the truth to set us free from the globalist Great Reset totalitarian agenda and help usher in the Great Awakening.